Aloha everyone and welcome to Skincare with Hyram. If you don't know who I am, my name is Hyram and I'm passionate about teaching you how to perfect your skincare routine. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. I'm so excited for this video today because we are talking about the real shit, ingredients, technicalities, my language. The burning question that everyone has but no one can find an answer to: how to read an ingredient list. Now if you aren't familiar with my channel, hi, I'm entirely too obsessed with deciphering ingredient lists. It's my dopamine hit, it's my drug, but it's also something that every single day I'm constantly learning more about. It's a never-ending cycle of education and learning, which is why it can be so confusing to people who are first entering the skincare world. Welcome to the new series on my channel, Skincare 201, where I delve into skin issues, ingredients, and products a little bit more so than my Skincare 101 series. If you haven't seen the Skincare 101 series and you are new to skincare, I highly recommend checking that out first because I go over all the basics that you need to know in terms of building a good skincare routine that will help prevent a lot of the issues that you could face that I will be talking about now. This series is going to be a little bit more intermediate, a little bit more information based for all of you guys who are wondering how you can get rid of these certain complex issues, what certain types of ingredients do, which brands and products best align with each of those, etc., etc. And today I'm going to be specifically focusing on how to read an ingredient list. Now we've all been there. We go to the store, we look at a product, it seems interesting, we pick it up and turn it around, and the first 3 ingredients are just mumbo jumbo. All these words that we can't understand. The first one sounds like a Harry Potter spell. The second one sounds like the name of your great aunt once removed that you met 3 years ago at a family reunion. And the third one is the disease you've convinced yourself you're going to die from after doing a quick Google search of how to get rid of your cough. One of the reasons I started my channel in the first place was because I wasn't able to find any information out there about how to read an ingredient list, what ingredients to look for, what ingredients to avoid. And in order to understand how you can prevent or get rid of a lot of problems like dark spots, oiliness, aging, dryness, you have to understand what ingredients target what. Because every product nowadays says that they're going to remove X, Y, and Z, when in actuality, they don't have any ingredients that will, and it's all just marketing bullshit. So my goal by the end of this video is to help you feel a little bit more empowered to make your own decisions about what you want to buy and what you won't buy in regards to skincare. So let's get into it. I want to say as well, if you are interested in joining an entire community of people who are obsessed with skincare junkies, as I call them, feel free to go to my community in the description box below. It's called Skincare Junkie. It's an amazing community where you can join a lot of people who are constantly learning about skincare, how to take care of their skin, what products they like, talk about sales and promotions, and let you guys know what projects I'm currently working on for my YouTube channel. So if you are interested in joining that, the link in my description box below. So trick number 1 when it comes to reading ingredient lists, you have to understand that, bitch, you do not know everything. That was definitely the approach I had to take when I started learning about ingredients, because there are thousands of ingredients out there with so much research and so little research, and just tons of information that you don't know about. And the best way to eliminate that ignorance is to find resources that you can trust in terms of learning about ingredients. Now everyone has their favorite resources, but I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite ones. The first one being Paula's Choice Ingredient Dictionary. This is the website that I find myself going back to over and over and over again anytime that I don't know what an ingredient is, or when I don't know if it's going to be irritating or not. The way that you access this resource is just by searching an ingredient. So for example, search Centella asiatica extract, and then follow up with the words Paula Choice afterwards, and you will find that the first result is the Paula's Choice Ingredient Dictionary. On her website, she supplies information about the ingredient, whether it's good or bad for the skin, how irritating it's going to be, and then cites multiple sources as to where she got this information from. I love Paula's Choice because in my experience, it is the most accessible, research-based source of learning about ingredients out there. There are so many websites out there that talk about ingredients, but rarely do they actually supply the studies or research backing up those statements. And I love Paula's Choice because it's always very transparent about where she got that information from. I also love NC Decoder, another website similar to Paula's Choice, when I'm looking for an alternative opinion or viewpoint on a certain ingredient. Because you always want to diversify your information streams, I think it's important to balance out the information that you find on one website by going to multiple other websites. Finally, when I first started getting into skincare, I did like using the website Cause DNA. One of the reasons I loved that website is because you can copy and paste the entire ingredient list of a product into their online form, and they will list out ingredient by ingredient what it does, how irritating it is, and if it's safe for your skin. I loved using this at the beginning because it was really able to help me learn about the function of each ingredient. Now, I don't necessarily agree with all the information on causedna.com, which is why I recommend, if you see that CauseDNA says that a certain ingredient is really irritating or bad, to go to Paula's Choice and see what she says about it to balance out that information. But CauseDNA is a great way of embarking on this complex journey of understanding understanding ingredients, and it definitely helped me when I was first learning about all of this. All of these websites I have listed in the description box below, and I highly recommend, especially if you're a skincare junkie like me, to bookmark these websites or learn how to access them regularly, because let me tell you, when you first start dissecting ingredient lists, you are going to be using these websites a lot. I know my ass did. Now let's start into my 4 tricks for understanding ingredient lists. The first one, look at the first 6 ingredients. Ingredient lists are listed from highest concentration to lowest concentration. So whatever you see at the top of the ingredient list, you will find the most of those ingredients in that product. And looking at the first 6 ingredients gives you a good general idea of what is most prevalent in this product. So for example, if you see an aloe vera product and you look at the first 6 ingredients and you don't see aloe vera extract or aloe vera juice, you are able to know that this product is probably bullshit because it's not formulated in a high concentration. Now, this isn't to say that if a product advertises using a certain ingredient and it's not within the first 6 ingredients, that this isn't going to be effective, because ingredients are all effective at different percentages. But looking at the first 6 ingredients will give you an idea of what the majority of this product is made up of, so that when you find a product that has amazing ingredients within the first 6 ingredients, you know that this is a high quality product that you're going to want to use. Inverse to that is my second trick, which I like to call the Phenoxyethanol trick. If you aren't familiar with phenoxyethanol, it is a preservative used in the majority of skincare products to help maintain the formula, but phenoxyethanol is not formulated above 1%. While ingredients are listed from highest concentration to lowest concentration, within the USA at least, there is the 1% exclusion. What this means is that any ingredient formulated below 1% is able to be listed pretty much anywhere on the ingredient list, so long as it's under 1%. And this can make it difficult when determining what types of ingredients you want at high concentrations and what types of ingredients you want at low concentrations. When you see the ingredient phenoxyethanol on an ingredient list, anything below that is likely going to be under 1%, and anything above that is likely to be over 1%. So if you find a product that is advertising that it has an incredible natural extract like aloe vera or squalane or snail mucin, but you find that it is listed below phenoxyethanol, that product is probably bullshit and is not going to be as effective as it could be with other products when you find that those ingredients are listed above phenoxyethanol. And this leads me into my third point, which ingredients to look for and which ingredients to avoid. Now, I know you guys have asked me so many times for a video explaining which ingredients are good and which ingredients are bad, but honestly, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of ingredients out there, so many of which are good and bad. So it's really difficult for me to condense it all into one video, which is why I provided you with the resources before so that you can do that research on your own. But in general, in terms of the ingredients that I come across the most in skincare products, there are just so many good ingredients out there that I really can't fit them into one video. Instead, what I'm going to do is share some of the most irritating or bad ones that I recommend you avoid. The first being denatured or SD alcohol. This ingredient is a delivery agent, but it's also highly irritating, sensitizing, and stripping to the face. Every time I've used a product with a high concentration of denatured alcohol, my skin burns, it turns red. It's just awful, and in my opinion, there are much better high-quality delivery agents out there as opposed to cheap denatured alcohol. It can be listed as denatured alcohol or SD alcohol, but other similar ones are ethanol, isopropyl alcohol, or polyvinyl alcohol. All of these ingredients I highly recommend avoiding if you find them within the first 6 ingredients of a product. If they are lower than that, then I personally don't think that they're that big of an issue, but be very mindful about what you're purchasing. Another ingredient is fragrance/parfum. Now this one is very sneaky because within the USA at least, a lot of companies like to use fragrance in their products, but in an effort to make sure that other companies don't copy their exact same ingredient list and produce like cheaper alternatives, for example, companies have the ability to label all of the fragrant ingredients that they use under one single term, fragrance parfum. This means is that if you see fragrance parfum on an ingredient list that could be 1, 5, 10, 100, 1,000 ingredients, you really have no idea how many ingredients could be labeled under the term fragrance, which is why on my channel I constantly talk about avoid products that say fragrance altogether. You don't know what's in the product. It represents a lack of transparency from the brand, which means that you don't know if they have your best interests in mind. It can be highly sensitizing and irritating to the face, and just overall is something to avoid. If you do want to learn more about fragrance and skincare, feel free to go to the link in my description box below. I have a whole video dedicated to that. Stay on the lookout for fragrant essential oils. This is a very, very tricky type of ingredient to look for because there are so many different types of oils out there, some of which are amazing and some of which are really irritating and just don't belong in skincare. Some examples are lavender essential oil, eucalyptus essential oil, ylang essential oil, and so many others. Even now, I will admit, I still sometimes don't know which ingredients are essential oils and which aren't, which is why I always rely on Paula's Choice Ingredient Dictionary dictionary, for example, to be able to learn whether it is or not. And sometimes, again, brands will be really sneaky and say that they are fragrance-free, but they will include highly irritating essential oils in their formulations. Now, I like to stay away from essential oils when I can, but I am okay with the product having 1, maybe 2 essential oils in it. However, I will say, if you find essential oils at the top of the ingredient list within the first 6 ingredients, run the fuck away. Stay away from that product. You do not want to smother that on your face. It will only increase the risk of contact dermatitis as well as a bunch of other issues that you just want to avoid in general. And the last types of ingredients I recommend looking for are citrus extracts and oils. Some of these will include orange peel extract or orange peel oil, lime extract or lime oil, grapefruit extract or grapefruit oil. The reason why I recommend avoiding these is because citrus essential oils and extracts are known for their potentially sensitizing and irritating properties. Not only do they carry the risk of standard essential oils, they also have exfoliation-like abilities that can increase irritation, and they are known for being particularly unstable when exposed to UV light. And they're just best avoided altogether. Now, I have to say, I wish the conversation around ingredients could be it's a good ingredient or it's a bad ingredient. But in reality, like someone said once, and I can't remember exactly who they were, but dosage makes the poison. All about the concentration. Some ingredients can be really good in skincare products if they're at low concentrations, while others can be really damaging to the skin when they're at high concentrations. So I recommend keeping that in mind. When I first got into skincare, it definitely was like this fun game of like looking through the list and being like, ooh, good, ooh, bad, ooh, good, ooh, bad. And if I saw any bad ingredients, I would set it down and not buy it. But in reality, it is about concentration. It's not the worst thing in the world if you do find an ingredient that you don't like somewhere on the ingredient list, but be mindful about the concentration. Now, with all of this information, I want you to keep in mind, ingredients are complicated motherfuckers. It's never as easy as right or wrong, good or bad. There's always variables affecting whether or not an ingredient list is going to be the most beneficial for your skin or whether it's not. When it comes to my personal standards, I have very, very high standards. And my philosophy is that if an ingredient doesn't need to be in a product, then leave it out altogether. And on my channel, I share my personal philosophy, but not everyone shares my philosophy. Some people like essential oils, some people are okay with fragrance, and that's totally fine. It is your personal belief, your personal opinion, and I will keep mine. Overall, I am just happy to see that people are becoming more educated about ingredients, about which products that they use, what they look for, and what they avoid. And my purpose in making this video is to help you guys be able to understand that as well, so that you can make decisions for yourself, rather than having to rely on a few people or companies to tell you what to buy, what not to buy. You guys are intelligent, you guys deserve to make that decision on your own, and I really hope that this can help empower you to do so. Do you have any tips and tricks that you use or recommend? I really want to hear you guys weigh in on what strategies you use to read ingredient lists. And like I said before, if you are interested in being a skincare junkie and being a part of that amazing, totally free community, go to the link in my description box below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited to begin this Skincare 201 series, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah.